Good afternoon, guys. This is just a small tutorial video I want to do for the star chart laboratory. I mean, we're going to have classes, don't worry, but this is just a video for students who want extra information or things that I might not necessarily cover in class. The star chart laboratory, just like the first lab, you will find the instructions in modules, but just like the first lab, and I will be very clear about this, you can submit the labs in both ways. In two ways, either by clicking here and by going into preview and typing the answers, or if you want, and in some labs I might require you guys to do, just scan. You can scan this, so you can copy some of the questions and answers into Microsoft Word. Now, why am I giving you that chance? Is because every lab has an automated grading system. And some of you are gonna get scared because you may see that you don't get a good grade. So I have to go and take a look at your answers and see if you were close or not to the right answer. Sort of like partial credit, and that's easy if you were here on campus or if you were doing the lab by hand. So that's the only problem with doing it like that. So the tutorial, I want to give you a few of the answers. I want to try to help you with this. So with the star chart, the first thing is that they give an introduction to how we label different stars with different say designations, because we have been looking at the stars since like 2,500 years ago, right? The Greeks, the Egyptians, the Incas, the Mayans, the Chinese, they all look at the stars. They all, and well, the Greeks actually named the constellations, or a lot of the constellations that we know and that we observe in the night sky, right? Orion, for example, is one of them, but we have, for example, Leo, the 12 zodiac constellations, right? They all come from the Greeks. So we have different designations depending on the person who studied, on the astronomer who studied, and the astronomer who started to organize these objects as they saw them in the sky. You have the Bayer designation and the Hipparchus designation. Now, you should know, and we're going to be, or you guys are going to be doing this in the lecture, how important was Hipparchus for astronomy, for example, for a heliocentric model, and so on. We also have the Flamsteed, but the main ones are these two. Now, in this lab, in Stellarium, you are going to be investigating not constellations, but stars and deep star objects, which are these ones. Look, when you open a Stellarium and you remove this or activate this, you will have these yellow circles. These yellow circles allow you to find deep sky objects or deep field objects that you cannot observe with a naked eye. You will have to use a telescope to observe those. So the idea with this lab is that following what you did in the introduction to Stellarium, you designate, you find the designations of stars that they are asking you here. Now, I want you to be extremely careful though. First of all, I want you to learn that the deep sky objects, the main designation is the Messier objects. But we also have NGCs. Now, NGCs are very particular because normally they are labeled for spiral galaxies or galaxies in general. So NGCs are normally deep sky objects as well. All right. You can also have nebulas, but there you are, not galaxy spiral. Open clusters. We're going to learn in this course about an open cluster or a globular cluster. What's the difference between both, right? For example, the Pleiades or the Omega Centauri in the southern hemisphere. But regardless of that, all right. Here we have some of the symbols and descriptions. If it's a planetary nebula, an open cluster with nebulosity, or a globular cluster, which is a closed cluster of stars. Omega Centauri, for example. So the step one is always important because it tells you where you're going to be located. So you have to make sure you go to Dallas, Texas. And we've learned how to do that in the lab number 1. I already did that in here, but just to check Dallas, right? The first option here on the left. The date and time is on the winter solstice, 21st of December, 2009. All right. Now, they give you the time? No. Oh, midnight. Okay. So we'll be about there. Midnight. Stop time. Okay. Now you have to put this as viewing. All right. So what did I do here? First of all, I removed the atmosphere. But I also removed the ground, guys, and it doesn't specify that in the lab. And that's a mistake. I'm sorry. I will also make sure I say it on the day of the class, but that's okay. So constellations, lines as well, you want to have them activated. And yeah, we can have the deep sky objects still in there. So we're looking at south. Now, guys, normally you should be here. So that's how you can get the right answer. If you're looking like this, that's when it gets tricky. Because look what they're asking you. Name the brightest star just, east of due south, just east of due south. So the east is here, so around here. Just east of due south. It cannot be Sirius though. That's the common mistake. All right. So I already gave you the answer, right? Anyway, you have to look at the lab and tell me, well, what constellation? The constellation is also given here. You have to look at the way you do the designations, alpha or beta or gamma or alpha, beta, gamma, omega, right? But Hipparchus is very easy, at HIP. So for any star, for example, for Sirius, alpha CMA will be the Bayern designation, HIP 32349 will be the Hipparchus designation. All right? For a star of Sirius. That doesn't mean that's the answer though. I already told you, it's just, for the first question, it's just a star that is just east of south. East of south. Remove the ground. Bayern, Hipparchus, that's easy. This is a tricky question in this lab. Just northeast of the star is a Messier object. All right. So we want to go northeast. There are different ones. All right. South will be here. North, what? North is, oops, I want to lose it. So if I keep going like that, it's north. Will be on the other side, right? This could be the object, but it's not really it's not what they're asking you here. It says that it needs to have a Messier designation. So there are two objects that are north and sort of east, and they are located in the Orion constellation. All right. That is a tricky question because there are several ones. It's saying that is north and east. So you have to be careful with that. Anyway, I already told you the constellation at least. What type of object? Well, it depends on which object you choose, right? To locate objects, that's the easy part of the lab. Then you just go to NGC 1976, and it also tells you to, it also gives you one object here, the Great Orion Nebula. That's a Messier. That's the answer for this question though. All right. And then step 3, well guys, I already helped you a lot, right? So that's how you do that lab. And that's the idea behind star charts. During the class, I expect you guys to finish this on the same day that we have the class. All right. I see you guys that day and have a good day.